Daniel Kaluuya needs to go into these Hollywood executive offices, put his leg on the table. First, second or third leg, that's up to you. But he needs to say to them, as of today, my price went up. Welcome to Agents of Screen, the first and the only place for movie reviews live at the cinema. I am your boy Miles, aka the Bald Beyonce, and we're here for our spoiler-free review for Judas and the Black Messiah. If you're a returning viewer, welcome back. It's good to see you again. And if you're new here, how I do things, I tell you what I liked, what I didn't like, my score out of 10, and if you should see this film or not. Make sure that you like, share, and subscribe, and you hit that notification bell to stay up to date with all the content. But let's get into this review. Judas and the Black Messiah, directed by S.C.R.E.E.N, starring Daniel Kaluuya and Lakeith Stanfield. This film details the betrayal of Fred Hampton, chairman of the Illinois chapter of the Black Panther Party in the late 1960s, at the hands of William O'Neill, an FBI informant. Straight off the bat, what I enjoyed acting performances. Daniel Kaluuya, give that boy his flowers. He don't miss.
This motherfucker don't miss.
No, he's fucking good.
That motherfucker don't miss, man.
He's good.
In the heat of battle, he don't miss.
No.
In the heat of controversy, he don't miss.
No.
Daniel Kaluuya needs to go into these Hollywood executive offices, put his leg on the table. First, second or third leg, that's up to you. But he needs to say to them, as of today, my price went up. Look at him in their eyes too. Say, anything you man thought you were paying me before, double down. And it must be said, I know there's this narrative, I know there's this disgruntled vibe of when a UK actor plays an American character, especially a historic African-American figure in film. Like, I understand, but they're not getting these jobs because they're cheaper, as Samuel L. Jackson would say. I know he apologized, but he still said it. It's not for any other reason than they were the best choice for the job. Daniel Kaluuya was handpicked by Ryan Coogler on the set of Black Panther. Ryan Coogler, who helped produce this film, handpicked him. He said, I want you. A problem should only arise if they don't do a good job. That's why I'm so happy that he done an amazing job. And it's not even a black thing either. There's been so many examples of UK actors doing an American character and doing a phenomenal job. For example, David Oyelowo as Martin Luther King in Selma, Christian Bale as Batman in the Dark Knight series, Cynthia Erivo as Harriet Tubman, Tom Holland as Spider-Man, Idris Elba as Stringer Bell in The Wire, Dominic West as Officer McNulty in The Wire, Damson Idris in Snowfall. Season 4 coming soon, but the list continues. They've all done a phenomenal job. On the flip side, American actors playing British or English characters. Again, I have no problem with that, only if they do a good job. As long as the list is, for the other thing that I just said, the list is just as long for Americans that have done a poor job doing the English or British accent and doing accents in general. For example, Denzel Washington, the great Denzel Washington in the film for Queen and Country. It was okay, but it was still a bit goofy. Don Cheadle in Ocean's 11, 12, 13.
So unless we intend to do this job in Reno, we're in Barney.
Taye Diggs in Stella Got a Groove Back.
Well, the one I gave you was real, Mr. Shakespeare.
You didn't know Shakespeare was really black? Yeah, man.
Will Smith in Concussion. Brad Pitt in Meet Joe Black. The whole of Luke Cage Season 2. Now, I like some of these actors, but you know, we have to call it for what it is. I have digressed massively, but it had to be said. They are getting these roles only because they are the best for them. On the flip side, for the American actors, I can't say the same. But Daniel did a phenomenal job. The accent, the voice, the rhythm in which he spoke was just like Fred Hampton and really showcased his charisma, his gravitas, what a word, gravitas, and displayed what a special and impressive man that Fred Hampton was. Even more impressive that he was just 21 years old. Put that into perspective. Mature beyond his years, choosing a truly selfless path, sacrificing his life basically for the people, for the betterment of the people. That is 21 years old, bro. What were you doing What was I doing at 21 years old? Puts all of us to shame, quite frankly. And even though Daniel Kaluuya deservedly would get all the headlines, Lakeith Stanfield done just as good a job. So Lakeith was really like the yin to Daniel's yang. Daniel Kaluuya was more smash bang wallop. Lakeith Stanfield was more subtle, but still as powerful. He had to really convey a complex concoction of emotions. He had to show a man at war with his own soul, and yet show a front for the FBI and for the Black Panther that he was one of them, and the constant battle trying to keep all of this under wraps. And because of his process, even the man, Lakeith Stanfield himself, said after he finished filming this, he had to immediately go into therapy.
And, you know, I definitely came out of this role immediately needing therapy.
And I think he's really suited to playing these type of on edge, tormented characters role. And in some circles I've seen people put his name forward to play Joker in the future. I could see it. I don't know how I feel about that yet, but I could see it. I really enjoyed Dominique Fishback as well, who I saw in Project Power. I didn't realize she was like 29 years old. It kind of threw me off because she plays a teenager in Project Power. After Project Power, I was excited to see what she could do next, and here we are. She gave a strong yet vulnerable performance. I want to see more of her in movies. And Jesse Plemons, who plays Agent Mitchell, also done a great job. Also, Shaka King done a fantastic job directing this film, the costume design, fully engaged, great story. And in the things that I would nitpick, what I didn't like as much, I think while I thought that Lakeith Stanfield done a phenomenal job, I think that his character might have been better played by a younger actor. I think it would have really drummed home the tragedy of the story and added a more poignant dynamic so that they could dig even further into that empathy bag. You know, William O'Neill, who Lakeith Stanfield plays, was only 19 years old when these events happened. Like in the absolutely incredible miniseries When They See Us, which I give my highest recommendation, true story, young boys, it added to the tragedy because you said, like, look how they took advantage of these kids, these children. Look at what the police officers did to these kids. But with Lakeith Stanfield, when you see him on screen, you don't think he's a kid. You just look at him as a man. It's a tricky one because would a younger actor have given as good a performance as Lakeith Stanfield? Probably not. However, I think, as I said before, it would have added a more poignant dynamic. But to be fair, that is a nitpick. Also, I think the film relies on the viewer having prior knowledge of Fred Hampton, the Black Panthers, and this situation as a whole. Like, I understand this film is a retelling of a very specific time. However, I think that they could have dig deeper into Fred Hampton and the Black Panthers. So their politics, their views, the good that they did. Because if you have no prior knowledge and you look at the film solely for what it gave you, you may think that they were only focused on the police, which is far from the truth, and they were so much more than that. And you would also think, based on what is shown, that in some instances that the police were justified in their means. And the film was 2 hours. They could have pushed it to 2.5 hours and added a little bit more to give you more layers of understanding for Fred Hampton and the Black Panthers. That being said, would I recommend this film? I would, and I would say off the bat, this is the film to beat. Yes, it is very early, but this is the film to beat so far this year. I will give Judas and the Black Messiah an 8 out of 10. Have you seen the film so far? What did you think of it? Will this review convince you to go check it out? Let me know in the comments below. As always, I have been your boy Miles. We have been the Agents of S.C.R.E.E.N, and until the next video, which should be coming extremely soon, peace.